Hi, I'm Owen Fitzpatrick, author of the book The Charismatic Edge and creator of the online Charisma Training Academy and online time mastery. In this particular video, I want to talk to you about something that's very close to my heart, something that I care a lot about, and that is the power of stories in influencing other people. On my Influence Mastery course, I do a module just on this. You can also learn more if you're interested by a man named Robert McKee. He's one of my mentors. He's a guru of all screenwriters. He's one of the most famous and most powerful, most successful screenwriting experts out there. And he does a day called Storynomics, which is all about using stories to influence people in terms of business. So it's a terrific day. Highly recommend it. But what I wanted to do in this video is give you very basic, fundamental understanding of how you can use stories to be able to influence people powerfully. Now, we've all watched movies, we've all read books, and we all know how a story works. You've got a hero, and the hero is the person that you identify with as a reader or watching the movie. You identify with the hero as the hero goes through a journey. And what happens to that hero is there's an inciting incident at the beginning or near the beginning of the movie or near the beginning of the book. Something happens which knocks that hero's life out of balance. So everything's going okay, and then all of a sudden they face maybe a monster, a villain, some problem happens to them, knocks them out of balance. And then they struggle, and then they keep trying to achieve the goal of either getting it back into balance or achieving something that they want, some desire that they have, and they keep moving towards that desire. Now, as they keep moving towards the desire, obviously there's the pressure or the problem that keeps working with them and challenging them and making them struggle. And that sense of conflict is what gets us interested in it. So all great stories have a sense of conflict. All great stories have a problem that happens to the hero or to the person themselves. And that's one of the reasons why there's a parallel between how story works and how an influence process works. And when you use stories in influencing people, you can help the person themselves learn how they can overcome the problem. Because in a story, in a great movie, in a great book, what happens to the hero is that as they go through the particular problems that they face, they learn from what's often called the guide. This could be the mentor, the guide, the wise old man, the person that helps them in some way with some advice, with some ideas. Sometimes it's not a person, sometimes it's an experience that they learn from. Sometimes their guide is themselves. They learn to dig deep and find the answers from within. Regardless of what happens, though, is that the hero goes through these challenging events, these problems, and as they do, they learn and they grow, and hopefully by the end of it, they're able to face the final demon, face the final battle, overcome that final demon, win the final battle, and live happily ever after. And as a result, they become a different character. They've really experienced what it's like to transform as a character from the beginning to the start. Now, in many ways, when you're trying to influence people, you're doing the very same thing. You know that the person that you're speaking to, the person you want to persuade, has a goal. You know there's this conflict that's getting in the way or that's going to stop them from achieving that goal, something that's going to interfere with their ability to achieve that goal. You know that something negative in their life might have knocked their life out of balance, and their goal might be to get back into balance. For example, if a person has found themselves overweight and they're unhappy about that, that's a problem that they need to overcome because they want to get back to what it's like to live a slim, healthy, happy life. If, for example, a person's struggling in terms of business, or if they're struggling with time management, or if they're struggling in any different area, for example, if they feel that they're not as happy as they could be with whatever product or service that they're buying. For example, if they're not happy with their phone service. Again, if you want to persuade them to come on board with you with your phone service, you need to be able to understand what their difficulty is, what their villain or monster is, what their problem is. Once you do, you can tell a story which allows them to be able to connect with the hero in your story that's helping them to be able to overcome that problem and be able to finally live happily ever after. So whenever you're trying to influence people and you're telling them a story to do so, understand who's the hero and how can you ensure that they can relate to that hero. Understand what is the problem and what's the monster or the villain, what's the bad thing that happens to this hero, what's the inciting incident, the thing that starts the whole story running. The more that you can get them to identify whatever that is, the more likely that person is to be clear about themselves as the hero and wanting to overcome that journey. Be clear about the goal of the hero, and again, be able to paint through the hero's goal as clearly as the person has painted their goal, so that the person is thinking about the hero's goal as being their goal as well. and then give them a realistic experience of what it's like to go through the areas of conflict, what we call turning points, when things go well, then when things go badly. When things go well, things go badly. By creating continuously things going well and badly, you're also upping the motivation of the person that's listening. So again, they more and more and more as time goes on want to achieve this goal. And then finally, as you're giving them the guidance and the wisdom and the insights from your idea or product or service in terms of the story and how that helped the customer or client or the hero in the story to be able to live happily ever after, then when they do experience the final challenge, when they do use the product and they're able to get what they want, they're able to become the ideal weight, they're able to overcome the challenges that they faced in terms of business. They're able to manage their time successfully or effectively. They're able to make more money. When they finally experience that, they're able to do so in such a way that they feel much more motivated as a result. So once again, stories are about giving the person that you're talking to the opportunity to see themselves as a hero that faces a challenge at the beginning, that finds themselves dealing with this conflict as they learn to overcome it. And they become, again, at the very end, happier and better as a person, as a character. They've developed, they've grown, they've matured, they've been made stronger by the challenge as a result of it. That's the power of stories. So once again, ask yourself those questions. Who's the hero? What's the problem? What's the goal? What's the incident that kicks this all off? What's the final battle they might have to engage in? What are the turning points they might face? And what's happy ever after for them? What does that mean for them? How will they have changed as a character? By exploring, taking some time to answer questions such as those, you're going to find yourself being able to create powerful, persuasive, and effective stories that are able to transform the way people think and are much more likely to influence them towards buying your product, believing your idea, purchasing your service, investing in you. I really hope that you found this particular video useful. Please go out into the world, tell your story, influence people, allow yourself to impact the world, allow the world to impact you, and as ever, be a legend in your own lunchbox. For now, I'm Owen Fitzpatrick. Talk to you soon.